pull it up. Alrighty. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for logging in to this amazing icon panel that I have here for you today. I've been waiting all week for this event because I get to meet up with three of my favorite people in the biz. And if you guys are seeing this broadcast live, if you could just please hit share, that way it could show up on your Facebook page and you can share it with your audience. I promise you that the event today is going to be full of value. I'm bringing you three superstars that have hit icon status with eXpi Realty. And not only did they hit icon status, but they're also top producers. They're crushing it with production. And you're going to hear their stories. You're going to get into the world and see what they are doing. And you're going to be able to learn their best practices. And if you do have any questions while we're on air, you can drop your question in there and we'll try to get to your question as well. But the whole intention of this event today is to bring you value, bring you massive amounts of value. So our first speaker that we're going to have come up here today his name is Richard Reyes. And Richard Reyes, just give you his production, his numbers. He's actually closed 38 transactions, and this year, $24 million in volume. He has 10 open escrows, and he's on track to do 60 units this year. So he's absolutely crushing it. And on top of that, he's already earned the Icon Award as well, which is super exciting. So I'm going to be sharing with you what that looks like. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Mr. Richard Reyes to the stage. Let me go ahead and give him the 3, 2, 1. Oh, there you are. What's up, brother? How we doing?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Leo?
It's going outstanding, bro. I'm doing a lot better now. I get to see you here, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. Thank you so much, man. So how's your day going, bro? I know you were just on a call right before you hopped on.
Yeah. So I have I know it's going to sound kind of like a sales pitch, but I liquidated about 3,000 shares of eXpi stock.
Wow.
And, I used that money to, I'm buying a property. I'm closing escrow in 2 weeks, about 4 blocks away from my home. Wow. And so I'm super excited about that. I think I bought the stock for about $8 a share, and I ended up selling it for about $44, $45. And I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot now because I looked at the ticker this morning. I think we're at about $54 a share, and I'm just like, damn, I left some money on the table.
But that's just amazing, bro. That's a great start, and thank you for sharing that. So that means that you liquidated 3,000 shares, basically.
Just a hair under 2,982, something like that.
Yeah, 2,982. The stock, you liquidated it at 43 bucks a share. So that means that you basically were able to capture $124,000 in money that you can use to purchase an investment property now. That's
pretty much. Who would have known?
Yeah, who would have known?
Yeah.
How long have you been here at eXpi, man? Just so the viewers can get connected to that.
I started February of 2019. My anniversary date's March 1st. So we got what we have in escrow right now. I think we have like one more unit to close, and this will be the second year of hitting Icon.
Nice.
The 16,000 shares are going to be gifted.
Wow.
You're
about to hit two-time back-to-back Icon Award, man. So see,
yeah, that Drake song.
You used the other award, for your investment, and now you're gonna get some back, man. So that's the good thing, bro. That's that you're always, you're out there making it happen. So I'm just gonna ask you a question, bro. Just talk about your production. I mean, you've done really well this year. Just talk about a little bit of, what kind of structure do you have? Are you running solo? Do you run a team? Just so people can get connected to that.
That's a great question. I started this team concept or kind of jumped on that bandwagon in November of 2014 when I was with my prior brokerage. And, it's a little bit, I'm not trying to sound negative here, but it is a little bit difficult kind of handling egos and kind of trying to get everybody to kind of roll in the same direction. Right. So right now, to be very frank, we're lean and we're mean. We have an inside sales agent, Abel. He's phenomenal. We have Isaac, who is my showing assistant, and then you have Leslie, who's working on back end at her home in West Covina. So she does all the admin stuff ever since this COVID situation hit. She's at home working remotely.
Very nice. So you have one ISA, one buyer's agent, and yourself, and that's how you've been able to. Basically, is that what I heard? Is that correct?
That is 100% correct.
Right on, brother. I mean, that's outstanding, bro. So you keeping it lean and mean, and I definitely think. I agree with you. You wanna keep everything, consistent, and, energy is really important, man. You got to stay focused and on track. So if you're able to keep your production and everything intact and with what you have, now all you got to do is find additional people that are going to resonate with your vision and mission, right? That way you can add additional production.
Right.
So that way, the listeners can get a little bit of more context. So what would you say are like your top lead strategy? Like, how do you do your business, bro? Are you doing more listings, more buyers? Share with that.
When I started my career, I was always more heavier on the buying side than the listing side. It's about 65 to 35. I think we probably go 50-50 now.
Okay.
Where we get our leads from, I mean, as I mentioned before, my mindset is Mike Ferry oriented. So we're doing a lot of calling for sale by owners, expired, just listed, just sold, and a massive amount of follow up. I mean, you can get a lead, but you don't know what to do with the lead. You're gonna have a very, very, very hard time converting it. Truth be told, there was a house here on Tudor Street in Covina. That lady, the Melrose family, they were in my database for 3 years. We just closed escrow about 3 weeks ago. She referred me to the Ackerman family across the street. We're in escrow on that property, which we double-ended. And there's another property that's coming up. I won't say the address, but it's going to be coming up in another week or so. But it's very, very close. So in our follow-up, that's 3 deals right there.
Wow.
So yeah,
3 years in the making. I think that's what a lot of people don't see, man. That was a nugget right there. I think a lot of people, get a contact and they get somebody with potential, and they don't have a system, right, to follow up with that person, and that's where the fortune is made.
Yeah, it's knowing my old coach, Sean Kokoska, big shout out, eXpi agent. He was the president for MAPS coaching with Keller Williams for many, many years. Sean always said to me, Richard, it's knowing what to say, how to say it, and saying it to a ton of people, saying it to the masses. I mean, you can get a lead, but if you don't know what to say and how to say it, it's gonna be a tough.
Yeah, I mean, you're
getting a deal done. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll have to constantly start to repeat yourself, right? Because that's the whole thing about the business. I think where people miss that part of it is that you don't do the follow-up part. You got to constantly be looking for building basically that new business. But I mean, obviously you're focusing on building new business, but you have the structure to be able to nurture those contacts. So that's amazing, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what does your follow-up look like? What does it consist of? I mean, if like for that person for 3 years, for example, what did you do with that person?
That's a great question. What I like to do a lot is kind of keep them abreast of what's going on in the market. Obviously, we had this whole situation with COVID and 4.5 million people filing for forbearance. We relay that information over to our clients and just kind of keep them up to date on what's going on as far as market activity, it being such a seller's market. And, just kind of, if they're not ready to make a decision at that point, just kind of being in front of them or being in their ear and saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Melrose, your neighbor on whatever just closed for $640,000. Just curious to know if there's anything that's happened between the last time we spoke. And dialogue's there, we have conversations, and that's kind of the way it works.
Right on. And so what I'm hearing is like you're building pipelines and then you're staying in touch with them. And is it like an every 30-day basis? Is it every 60 days? Like how did you do that?
You have to get a feel for each lead. So you have a lead that if they're saying, hey, they're 6 months out, I always cut it in half. So I figure out what my game plan is going to be, whether it be a handwritten letter, which I think we dropped off 2 earlier today, one in Duarte and another one here in Glendora.
Mm-hmm.
And then following up, scheduling it on our CRM, which is Follow Up Boss.
Nice.
Circling back with them in 3 to 4 days and saying, hey, Mrs. Melrose, by chance, did you receive that valuation I sent over? Yes, I did, Richard. Great. Thank you. Has anything changed since the last time we spoke? No, everything's good. Perfect. Hey, I'm here when you need me. Boom. Hang up and schedule it out.
Beautiful. And then now 3 years later, that turned into 3 transactions, basically.
Well, we actually double-ended eXpi, so that's 4.
4 transactions. That's right. 4 transactions.
About $2.5 million in volume. Sorry.
Wow. $2.5 million in volume just from following up, and that's key, man. I think that's a big one. I think that our community needs to really listen to, because it's not like we get to focus on the people that want to buy and sell now, but if you don't nurture those, then that's just money and people that you could be serving that you're not going to be assisting. Somebody else is going to do a better job of following up, and they're going to get the deal.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Okay, and then what would you say? I mean, now we got your Mike Ferry. So walk us through your day. What do you do on a daily basis? What time do you get to the office? Walk us through like your schedule.
So Debbie and I, my wife of 20 years, we
Congratulations, by the way.
thank you.
Amazing.
We wake up at 5:30. We meet with our family, Ida and Sel, and we walk and we hike up these big hills behind our house. It's about an hour and 15 minutes of exercise. Obviously, the gyms are closed, so it's really cool because we get to kind of Debbie gets to speak with her cousin, and I get to speak with Sal, and we just talk about life and all that good stuff. So we start our exercise at 6 o'clock. We finish at 7:15. Debbie takes care of the girls and gets them ready for school online. At 8 o'clock, 8:15, I head to the donut shop. I hang out with my old timers there for about 45 minutes. I'm here at 9 o'clock in the morning. I get on the phones and just go for it. And then at 12 noon, I take a break for lunch. It's almost like honoring it like a schedule.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And then in the afternoon.
And then you do the fulfillment part of it. I mean, that's beautiful that you spend some time with your wife, your kids. So you're getting connected to your why. Why it is that you're doing what you're doing, and then you're connecting with your friends and your community with the donut shop, which is super cool. And then now you're at the office at 9 o'clock sharp, hitting the phones. So, and then that's where you go through calling. You said the for sale by owners, the expireds, and okay. What do you and that from 9 to 12? How many conversations do you think that you have?
So this is the thing. When I started my real estate career, Big Mike Ferry, we always tracking our numbers. It took me between 240 to 265 conversations in order to have one escrow. So now that's not happening so much anymore. So I can have literally 10 to 15 calls in my morning, but the calls are very meaningful. They're not just just sold. It's actually talking about 10, 15, 20 minutes with the person. So it varies. I can speak to anywhere from maybe 15 to 20 people on any given morning from 9 to 12.
That's super cool, man. That's amazing. Yeah. So you got more. You're going deeper into the conversations, building stronger relationships, and then that's 200. I mean, it's a lot better than trying to call 265 people. You kind of like shotgun, or like the whole. You're spraying everywhere trying to get one, but here you're looking for more depth.
Right. Absolutely.
And so since you went through that transition, that you started to see better results when you started to do that shift.
For sure. Absolutely.
Versus you calling 265 people. but
you know what, at the end of the day, man, it's like, there's no secret, Facebook, $2 a lead kind of thing. You have to put in the work no matter what. You got to lay the foundation. Once the foundation is laid, it's 10 years into the business. I get clients calling me all the time. Hey, Richard, my cousin needs help. Hey, Richard, my aunt needs help. Hey, Richard, we need this. Hey, we need to sell this. So it's like, it's just different now.
Right. Yeah. I love that, bro.
Yeah.
So what is it that motivates you? And I know that you're hugely, you're a family man, bro. You spend a lot of time with your family and kids. So I know they're the huge motivation for you. What in addition to that, if there's any other motivation for you, like what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning? Yeah.
Right there.
Right there. Yeah.
Debbie, my wife, Layla, my 16-year-old, Emily, my 13-year-old, and Olivia, who I love immensely. She's like the apple of my eye. My girls, 100%. And also building relationships. I have, a couple people now that I really like to think that I think we've hit the nail on the head, and we brought some good people to our team, and pouring into them and making sure they're able to feed their family as well. I can only be a model of I can be the model citizen, and it's up to anyone whether they want to use that and kind of emulate it, I guess, if that makes sense.
Right.
But man, it's been a long journey. It's been fun, and I'm looking forward to the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years, however long that is.
Absolutely. What is that vision for you, bro? In the next 10 years, 15 years?
My father, he worked like a madman, 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day. I have a lot of that in me, and I love my dad to death. I think my dad was more of a hard worker, and my mom too. My mom she worked in Los Angeles. She worked in Los Angeles at Kaiser. On her lunchtime, she'd come down, pick us up, drop us off to my grandparents, and then hightail it back to LA every day. So you can see that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess you can say. Mm-hmm. A lot of my work, when you say where do you see yourself 10, 15, 20 years, I take it day by day, man. I'm thankful for everything I have, and I pray as much as I possibly can, and I thank God, and I say, hey, man, when I'm getting these deals coming left and right, I say, God, you give me too much, man. Like, who would have known that I accumulated 3,000 shares with eXp, pulled the money out. I'm closing escrow in a week and a half, right around the corner from my house. I mean, who would have known? I mean, does God gives me the ability to be a hard worker and to do the right thing and all that good stuff, and he just keeps blessing me every day. And yes, there'll come in times where things happen, bad things happen. You're like, yeah, why did that happen? You gotta bless it up and say, hey, man, thank you for the experience. Let's just keep moving on.
Exactly. God always has your back, brother. I mean, that's a beautiful thing that you said, because even on the bad experiences, you don't understand them fully in the moment. But then when you look, like, I'm pretty sure that all these little tiny experiences that didn't turn out, the best way, and then when now that where you're at, you're like, oh, that was God, redirecting me. He was putting me in the right direction, right? I feel like that's kind of like the way it works, in my life as well. Like, I wonder why this is happening right now. But you know what? God's 100 steps ahead of us, man. We don't know what he has planned.
100%. And like Drew Brees says, God has equipped us for greatness. It's a matter of what you do with it. I think I posted that on my Facebook about a week or two ago, but he really has equipped us with greatness. It's a matter of what you do with it. And there was no wonder. I mean, there's no secret sauce. There's no wonder why I stay as busy as I am, is because you do good work. You're truthful. You do the things the right way. Look, I'm a quick story, because I know I have a few minutes left. I had a client. We've been in escrow we've had 2 extra extensions. Anyways, her brother comes in twice from out of state. I'm just like, dude, like, how much more does he have to keep doing this? Because he's losing time. Time is money.
Right.
So I said, look, how can I fix this? So I got on the phone with my client. I says, hey, how can we make this better? I asked her how much would it cost to move his truck back to where they're moving to. She says, probably $8,000. So the next morning, Saturday morning, I came to my office. I went downstairs to Wells Fargo. I pulled an $8,000 check. I gave it to the lady, and I says, here, thank you so much, and thank you so much for your patience. Right? It's doing whatever, whenever, and that's why we stay as busy as we are.
That's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful. And yeah, definitely, man. Your fruits of your labor are showing, definitely, man, because you're taking care of the people. You're coming from service, right? You're focusing on serving them at the highest level, and then it just reciprocates right back into your life. And thank you for walking us through that, bro. I would also, before we end with you here, the Icon Award, bro. I know that you got the Icon Award once. Now you're on track to get your Icon Award again. If anybody's out there, obviously there's in real estate, which is most of the audience that we have here, what would you say to encourage them to think about this opportunity as with the Icon Award? What does this mean for you?
Well, what it means to me is so it's different. The company I was with before, we were always like, hey, let's recruit, and capture a small percentage of market share if the market center is in profit, right? The difference now is that you now get to choose who you want to be in business with. Mm-hmm. There are a couple of people that are coming to eXp who I've been in communication with. It's not a salesy kind of thing like, hey, come on in and I'm going to collect from you. No. You're now a business partner, right? So I have a moral obligation to make sure that whoever is within my wealth chart, which I have here on my board, whoever's in my wealth chart, to reach out to me anytime and whatever they need. I mean, I'm an open book regardless, right? So, but regardless, the people that have joined, they can reach out to me anytime because that is my responsibility. Now, what does it mean to be Icon? I love Icon. It's a great thing. The difference between, okay, so when I was working at Century 21, I used to get these beautiful trophies, like the Emmys.
Yeah.
We used to go to dinner and all that good stuff, and I appreciate that. I really do. That was a part in my life at that given time. But now, when I hit the certain amount, which most high producers are capable of doing, you're now gifted the money back. It's like you're giving $16,000 back of your own money. I mean, I'd rather have that any day over a trophy or a meal at a fancy restaurant, with all due respect.
Absolutely. Because that turned into, I mean, what does that translate to? I mean, you mentioned it a couple of times, man. That translated into you buying an investment property down the street, where now you're going to be able to rent, capture, flip, whatever it is you want to do. So it just allowed you to create additional opportunities for your life. Richard, I don't know if you're frozen or what happened, bro. You still there? Richard. You frozen, bro. Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and bring up our next guest. Let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about our next guest real quick. Thank you so much, Richard, for coming online. We got the amazing Joseph Trujillo. He's one of my great friends. I'm super excited to bring him up. 57 closed transactions this year, $29 million in volume, has over 12 escrows open, and he's on track to do 90 units, and he's 2 times Icon agent. Super honored to bring this guy up on stage. So let me go ahead and bring up Joseph here really quick. Show in the screen. There you are. What's up, brother? How we doing?
Doing good, bro. What's happening, man?
So we get a little boxing thing going.
Bro, that intro made me feel like I'm coming out of a UFC fight or something, bro.
Yeah, bro. You got two-time Icon award over here, man. What's up, man? It's outstanding, bro.
Where's the belt, bro? You got to create an Icon belt.
The other day, actually, I was looking at a bell, and I wanted to do that because that was one of the things that I had early on in my career. One of our brokers had a bell, and we used to just ring that thing. I like that idea, bro.
That's what's up, bro. Thanks for having me on, bro. I'm humbled, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man. I always appreciate your time. Thank you for. I know that you're always busy out and about, man. I like your pin, by the way, bro. What is that?
That's an airplane, bro. Cause way up, we're going way up, brother.
That's beautiful, man. I love it. I love it, man. I see you're at your office in Claremont, right?
Absolutely, man. Home base over here, rocking it. Claremont Upland. What's up?
Yeah, very cool, man. Well, thank you so much for being on, brother. So if you could just walk everybody through, give everybody like some sense of your structure and your team, just so everybody gets connected to what you're about and how you're doing it.
Absolutely. I'd love to share. So I've been in the industry. I actually just re-upped. I've been in the industry 4 years as of last week.
4 years.
4 years in the game.
That's crazy, bro. Every time I hear that, I'm like, damn, this guy's been 4 years in the biz, man. You're just getting started, bro. You're just getting started.
Yeah, I'm still way behind the ears, but 4 years in the game. For those of you that don't know, and I've said it publicly many times, I'm also fully employed with the federal government, and so I've been blessed to be able to operate an entrepreneurial business while occupying another full-time obligation. I've been with federal government now 25 years, and it's been a blessing. I've made a lot of great connections, a lot of great relationships that have actually translated and helped me build my business. So a large majority of my business comes from those relationships that I established in military, in law enforcement work, and just connecting with a lot of friends and family. So about a good 50-60% of my business comes from that.
Wow.
And then I've been blessed again in the last few years. The business has been great, having several hundred transactions. What I've refined in my business this year is reconnecting with all my past clients and really just loving on them crazy. And that kind of nurturing, that kind of giving back has gone more than full circle. And it's recreated an entirely new business opportunity for me in real estate.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. So you're focusing more on your past clients. And are you running a team? Are you doing solo? I don't know. You mentioned that. I don't think you talked about that. So you have a. Yeah.
So there's a couple layers to that. So I do operate with a limited time, of course. I do operate my own book of business. My own transactional opportunities. And a lot of that is derived from like an inner kind of squad that I run. It's very military-ish. So I have a squad and they're just as strong as me. I have Anna Curiel, who's on my team, and my close lender, Carlos Becerra. So us three, we're like a tight unit. And so we operate all that personal transaction for me. Without those two, it would be difficult, almost impossible to keep that momentum up. The second layer to that is, and again, back to like military form, I have a great set of team leaders, Cater Thornton, Veronica Uriarte, Janice McKenty, and within our office structure, they help operate a team concept. Here at Claremont, we have now about 52 team members on our team.
Congratulations.
And so
it's amazing.
Just like any great organization, brother, and you know better than most, you know, you have to have layers of leadership, layers of delegation. So then that way it's not all I hear. I can operate an effective business personally, and then operate a team in a growth pattern that is successful.
Wow, that's amazing, bro. And that's, again, everybody to listen out there, man. You've been doing this for 4 years. Look at what you've been doing, man. And look what you've done so far. I mean, and this is only the beginning. This is like the foundation. So what would you say? I mean, you said about 60% of your business is coming from your sphere, and then people from law enforcement. What would you say in addition to that? What else are you doing that is effective for you that you could share with the audience? That way, you know, they could also instill some of that into their business.
Well, in real estate, I'm definitely not a secret agent. Okay. So,
True that.
Like that. There's no 007 in real estate. So I put all my business out there. So for me, what happens to work is the grassroots social concepting, you know, so I'm all over Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you can go socially, you can find me. So my presence is pretty decent when you Google search my name, whether it be on Yelp. Yelp is a big platform for me. Google ads, stuff like that. So I'm able to generate new business aside from what I'm already currently working on in terms of like my sphere of influence to create new business and keep it moving with listings and a lot of buyers in the market.
Love that, bro. Love that. Yeah, so definitely what I got, do not be a secret agent for sure. Put your business out there. And you're definitely, hey, you're definitely out there, bro. You're Mr. Worldwide of real estate, dude. So literally,
I'll take it, brother. I'll take it
all day, right? All day, man. So walk us through your day, bro. I know that you got a lot of moving pieces, but what is a day in the life of Joseph Trujillo?
Wow, bro. A lot of this, if I really told you, I'd have to kill you. But you're my boy.
Tell me, bro. I definitely.
I'm gonna go light on you, man. But no, it's always been, again. I'm an early riser, so 4, 5 o'clock is where it happens, and then I gotta get my mud. I get my coffee on, and then I start to plug. You know, I do a little bit of prayer. If it's that day for me to work out and get a run in, whatever that may be, just to offset before I dive into, you know, the computer and everything else that's happening with that. But I do have a systematic approach. I have a couple hours set out where I'm time blocking for, be it social media, responding to clients, just doing all the good things that you need to do consistently, right?
I love what you're doing, though. You're also spending that time prior in the day. That's key, right? Because you got a lot of stuff that you're managing. So would you attribute a lot of what you're doing and the output that you're able to have in the day for the ability to spend that time, you know, before the
Absolutely. And so it's like creating mini days, right? So from my 4 to 8 o'clock, I typically have accomplished more in those 4 hours than most people will do in an entire day. So that's one part of my day. And then I can roll into my other job, my other occupation, whatever that may be, dedicate another 3 to 4 hours there. That's another day. And then you add another day, another 3 to 4 hours of just constant real estate follow-up, phone calls, escrows, whatever you got going on, managing your team. And then the last part of that is ending the day, you know, with some personal time, family time, you know, things that you need to do to make yourself hyper-focused and refined on your business.
Love it, bro. What would you say also as advice for someone that's out there that wants to break through to the next level in their business right now? Maybe they're not excelling at the capacity. Maybe they're a little bit lost, you know, because they're stepping into industry with the pandemic. A lot of people are out there kind of seeking guidance. What would you recommend, bro?
I'd recommend change. Yeah, I'd recommend change. If you're stuck in a rut, okay, and you're not seeing yourself grow, then the only way to grow is to change your environment. So whether that's people around you, your team, your influence, your friends, whatever that is for everybody, everybody's different. You need to get out of your comfort zone, change your shoes, and try something different.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm not talking about, companies per se, but I'm just talking about in life in general.
Right.
I think sometimes life can get, a little traditional, and the expectations are always set where you know what's going to happen in your next move. You got to get out of that. If you don't grow, you're dying. So you gotta make some moves.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what would you say for you is that how do you keep yourself fresh and how do you keep yourself growing? Like how do you get yourself uncomfortable?
Every day's different. So everybody says that, like in real estate, but coming from a different background, I can truly say that. Like in my other occupation, every single day is a different adventure. It's a different challenge. It's different results. And so I bring that approach to real estate in my personal business. So when I come to real estate, I don't do it by the numbers. I'm not in the office at 8 o'clock every single day. So I keep myself fluid, and I'm able to pivot a little bit more to what's happening. Okay.
Mhm.
For me, that's always worked. And every year in my business, it's grown. And so it works for me.
Mhm.
So I don't need to have consistency as much as other people, because if I get thrown something, I know how to move around it and keep it progressing.
Yeah, well, and the thing is that you're definitely consistent. You're definitely consistent at what you do every single day. You're just like maybe not consistent about maybe showing up on that time, but you're definitely consistent because in order for you to produce what you've done, it doesn't happen by just like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna think about doing this today, and it's just the production is gonna show up, right? You're definitely you're precise. You know what I mean? So you have that precision, and you bring it every single day. You know what to focus on.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the consistency comes from the business part, right? So how you get to that end result can vary, right? And then when you couple that with good systems, good people, great teamwork, then I think you end up with a result that a lot of people are happy with.
Got it. And if you were to start today, brand new, you're 4 years into it, obviously, but if you started brand new today, what would be the things that you would be focusing on immediately? What would you do?
I would focus on getting a mentor.
Okay.
Honestly, I would focus on finding somebody out there that you see, that you emulate, that you want to replicate, that is a good person that's going to lead you in the direction that you want to go, and align with them, and learn everything, pick their brain apart, learn everything that they're doing, and make it your own. And I think you're going to find a lot of success there. I think one of the biggest crutches that agents have in this business is everybody tries to figure it out on their own.
Yeah,
they're
bro.
they're alone on an island. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's why I love eXp, man, is because when I came to eXp, I kind of had that mindset myself to a certain degree, and now that I could reach out to other icons, other leaders like yourself and Rosie and Richard and Ciera, is just I'm not limited in how much I can expand.
Right.
So it's a beautiful thing.
That's a major key that you just dropped right there, bro. Because I mean, even early on in my business, I operated kind of like, man, it's just me against the world, literally, right? And you kind of close yourself up, and that's the kind of environment that in the industry, kind of like that was how it was, to be honest. And then now we have this whole new era of collaboration, and then we're coming from a state of abundance, and that's definitely key, man. And I think that if people operate from like the way that you're saying it, they will be much more successful, much faster, because they're not going to have to go through all the pain, right, of trying to figure it all out on their own. And they might be focusing a whole year, and they might have been able to capture a nugget from you and saying like, no, just turn this little 1 millimeter this way, and now you have a completely different outcome.
Exactly, bro.
That's amazing, brother. So the last thing I'm going to ask you before we bring up our next guest here is talk about Icon, bro. Talk about Icon. Well, I mean, you hit Icon 2 times in a row, 2 years in a row. That's outstanding. That's amazing. So walk people through on what that means.
So coming into eXp, I kind of knew my production was going to take me here. To be frank with everybody. But my expectation was not from a financial perspective.
Right.
Sometimes you do things to get yourself a pat on the back. I had never been with a company that gave me even trophies like Richard was talking about. Shit, I would love an Emmy award for real estate. But knowing that I was coming to this company, I said, you know what? I'm going to achieve certain goals in my career. So it's always great to be goal oriented, but it's even better when you get a reward for it that's monetized. And so for me, getting Icon Award 2 years, 16,000 each time, in whatever value that was at that time, equated into today's stock value, it's way more than 32,000.
Exactly, it's way more than 32,000.
Way more. I tried to break it down. It's almost six figures, in reward. And so, if you're driven by money, there's that one element. But now on my second year at Icon, there's a lot more to it, man. There's the cultural contribution to the company. We participate, we help our other agents grow. I'm mentoring about 12 people nationwide, aside from the team. And so we're constantly contributing, giving classes in the eXpi world, helping eXpi grow to be this company that it is today.
Wow.
And so that contribution, it means a lot when you're able to give back, right?
Absolutely.
So it's huge.
Well, thank you so much for being on today, man. And we're basically going to be completing our session here. I mean, it was an honor to have you on. Any last quick word that you want to say right before you log off, bro?
I would, brother. I would love to, thank you, bro. Honestly, I think in all these, everybody follows you. Everybody knows who Leo Robles is. But you've really gone above and beyond to be able to help us have a platform, bro. So if anybody hasn't told you that, I thank you. You're one of my partners. And so, giving us all an opportunity to highlight our achievements and just bring eXpi to the forefront of this industry is no small feat.
Thank you so much, man. I mean, I truly appreciate that. You just made my day, bro. Thank you.
That's what I do, bro.
Thank you so much for blessing me with your presence and your energy. And bro, I'm just super excited for your future, man. This is only the beginning, bro. Imagine 5, 10, 15 years from now, man. You're gonna be worldwide, bro. I see it. So thank you. Thank you,
appreciate it, brother.
Have a good day. All right, you got it, bro. See you later.
Late.
All righty, so our next guest, she's eagerly waiting already here. We're about to bring her up. We got the amazing Ciera Sims. And let me just tell you a little bit about her. She's done 53 transactions this year. Outstanding. $42 million in volume. Pending in escrow, has over 10 transactions and is on track to hit 100 units this year. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Miss Ciera Sims with a beautiful smile here. Let me go ahead and bring you up. 3, 2, 1. Oh, what's up, Miss Ciera? How we doing?
What's up, Mr. Leo? How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. Great to be here with you today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's awesome to see the first two. So that's going to be a tough follow-up.
Yeah, you got this. You got lady power. You got.
That's it. I know. Best for last, right?
You're representing the ladies right here, and you definitely. I mean, your production and everything you've done and what you've been able to accomplish. I mean, it's just outstanding. So I'm just super excited about what you're going to be doing as well. I mean, this is the beginning for you.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely feels like the very beginning. I mean, I've only been with eXpi since March. So yeah, it's definitely life-changing. The platform, the commission structure, everything like that. So it's definitely a blessing to be a part of this organization for sure.
Wow. Yeah, you stepped in right before COVID, right? Then right before.
Like 2 weeks. Yeah, like 2 weeks. I was so nervous to do this transition. And then 2 weeks later, they were like, hey, Ciera, how about this? And to just throw that in the mix of starting a new brokerage. Yeah, so that was fun.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, tell everybody how long you've been in the business. Talk about your structure, just so people can get connected to who you are.
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the business. It just hit 5 years in May. So this is 5 years in, and been with eXpi since March. My structure now that I have is I am a solo agent, so I do a lot of production on my own, but I am in the process of growing my team. So I have 7 agents, and I don't call them, I know that a lot of people kind of identify if they're buyer's agents or listing agents. That's a very common thing that I hear a lot. And these are just my 7 agents. I know that a lot of the times when these agents first start, buyers are a little bit easier to kind of be an expert at one and then move on to the next. But if any of my agents get a listing, I'm right there next to them, and I'm just helping them make sure that that completely goes smooth from start to finish. So that way they just become a better asset to my team with their knowledge.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you're crushing it, your personal production. Now you're blessing 7 other people on your team. And so walk us a little bit through like your day, like what I see you nonstop on social media. You're like always posting content,
I know.
this, that, traveling. I'm like, you're always out and about.
Yeah, the number one question I get asked is, when do you sleep? Like, that's
exactly right.
But yeah, I know that's definitely an important part, but I probably need to do some more of that, some more sleeping. But actually, I know a lot of people are, early bird gets the worm, and people rise early. I mean, and everybody in real estate that I know, for the majority of the part, wakes up at 4 or 5 a.m. That's actually not my structure. I'm a single mom, so I love my little one, and we wake up in the morning. I mean, I wake up at 5. And I wake up at 5 and do my me time, right? Because she's still asleep. So I get ready for the day. I listen to my Audible, or do an actual read podcast, something like that. So, and then she wakes up about 7, and then we'll like cuddle, watch a half an hour of TV, or do some sort of activity in the morning. And then I do morning affirmations with her in the mirror every single morning.
Wow, that's beautiful. I always catch her too. You're always posting about it. She's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so I really enjoy my morning times with her, because I think that she's in the best mood. Let's be honest. I'm not trying to get her in the bath or trying to get her to go to bed, or right. So it's like the best mood time. So I definitely soak that up in the morning. But I do get here at 9 o'clock every single day. It's very important for my attendance to be present every single day, because I want to make sure that my team can rely on me being present, not just available by phone. Because some certain stressful situations with real estate, they need to be able to talk to you directly and have you feel that emotion, right? So,
exactly.
So yeah, and then we have two meetings weekly here. So Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to like 11:30 is meetings and or trainings. So I'm constantly being versed on real estate law and what's changing with contracts and how to show houses with COVID and make sure that everybody's being safe and all of that type of stuff. So that's every single week. They provide a lot of trainings on that.
Very awesome.
We want to make sure that we stay up to par on that, and accountability as well on Thursdays.
Very cool. Very cool. So 9 o'clock, Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's your structure there. What is so when you show up, do you have for your own personal team, do you have a team meeting? Do you focus on first answering their questions or putting out fires? Or do you go straight into lead generation? Walk us through your day.
Yeah, the majority of the part goes straight into lead generation. Just because some agents, which the advantage of eXp is you can work from anywhere. So some of my agents work from home because they don't have kids and dogs jumping all over them, and it works for them. So totally fine. Some of them are actually here every single day. So if they're here and there's a fire that we need to put out, then I'm here for them, right? But if they're working from home, they need to call me, then that's usually more of a scheduled situation. But I go right into from 9 to 11 every single day. I go right into prospecting, whether it be follow-up, whether it be sphere of influence, past clients, whatever is on my schedule for that day, and that rotates day by day. So I focus on a different one each and every day for my perfect daily schedule. And then at 12, I will have lunch if we have time, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, I do the lunch, but I don't do meals until 12 o'clock. Like there is nothing that, that can't wait until 12 for something like that. And if you start off your day reading through your emails and something bad happens, your calls are going to go absolutely terrible.
Yes.
And so I don't even check.
No email prior to 12.
No email prior to 12.
I love that.
Because if it's something that's like an absolute emergency, or the lender needs something before funding, right? Because funding cutoff times, 2 o'clock, those types of things. If they're going to send an email, but they're going to call me too. They're not just going to send an email and say that they need something. Yeah. So my phone's always open and open and ready to answer calls, even in prospecting time, which a lot of times people say put your phone away 100%, but just for situations like that, because I don't check my emails until noon, I want to make sure that it is available for fire situations like that. So I think that is a really big part of the mindset. Right? Like you want to go into your calls with a clear mind. And if you have 3 bad things happen in the morning or delays or whatever the case may be, you're just not going to be that focused on making those calls in a happy mood.
Absolutely. No, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because you got to, we only have so much energy in the day. You know, we have that energy, so it's sacred. We gotta make sure that we use it for what we want to create versus us using our energy to react to everything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's all about challenging it appropriately, you know, because it can consume you. We're in a very high rejection based industry. And so for us, like, we have to make some fun out of it too, you know, like I'll do our group call nights every Thursday. There's a lot of newer agents here. And so I just put my phone on speaker and everybody just listens to the calls and the objections. And it's actually more almost a better accountability for me, because I push harder for the appointment when I'm in front of them than I do if I'm by myself.
Oh, 100%. I know exactly what you're talking about. It forces you to perform at another level because you have an additional listening of people that are
audience.
They're trying to pick apart like some nuggets. So I definitely understand what you're saying, and that pushes you to do better and motivates you.
Yeah, it does, and it's nice having the team. I can if I set the appointment, like, and then I usually try to look at my calendar to see what I have available before I start my calls, so that way I know what slots are open. But if not, then I set the appointment. They say, no, the only time I have is Friday at 5. I'm like, okay, great. You know, that's totally awesome. Brianne's going to go ahead and meet you over there Friday at 5 o'clock. And this is where the delegation comes in. And as an agent, to be successful, you have to let go of control a little bit. If you can't handle all the buyers and the sellers out there, you just can't. And I think that letting go of control is our hardest part. But having a team and having them here for trainings and having them here for the calls and everything like that, the idea is to make 7 mini Cieras, right? Like, that's the whole idea. Exactly. And they're not going to have a contract or a situation come up and not run it by me. So really it is like they have 2 or 3 or 7 agents for the price of one every single time. That's amazing.
That's amazing. And you basically, how long ago did you start your team, or when did you realize, like, oh my God, I need to like create a team? Because, you know.
So yeah, that came when I wasn't ready, to be honest with you. I didn't actually reach out and say I need a team. It just came naturally, right? I mean, they were seeing my production on social media and seeing that type of thing, and just knowing what my volume was. And they were like, how are you doing this? And I need to sit right next to you so that I can do it too. Because if you're just sitting there, and I'm willing to take anybody in the car, I say, like, every single time I have a team calendar, if that says like Ciera listing appointment or Ciera buyer appointment or Ciera buyer rep, whatever that says, if there's not an invitation name under there, they're welcome to add themselves in and they come with me. Because that's how you're going to learn the most, you know? So it came very naturally. So I actually haven't asked one agent to join the team. It's just been all natural where they come. Yeah. And then I just take it on as I can get it, you know?
Yeah. You're just a magnet of abundance. I see. You're just like magnet.
Yeah. But I'm so blessed to have them now, because they came on, I want to say maybe May, June was when the majority of them came on. So that was just 3 months ago. But without them, there is no way that I'd be able to juggle this level of production. And, you know, I just went to Cabo last weekend, and I had 3 different agents take out 3 different clients at that time. Yeah. But I'm willing to, even if they're my personal buyer or seller, whatever the case may be, I'm willing to split the commission at 50-50 with them if they happen to take them out.
I saw that you were on vacation. I'm like, oh my God, Ciera's on vacation. This is amazing.
Never happened.
I loved it. If I text you over, you're like, I'm on vacation. I'm like, man, this is amazing. Because definitely you want to have that balance. You want to be able to nurture yourself, and then also bring that energy back into your business, right? You got to recharge your batteries. So that's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was nice to go down there just for, it was 3 days. And any agent in the world, if you have a couple teammates, you can take 3 days to make it happen.
Exactly. So walk us through. You have a team now. You're crushing in production. Walk us through like top lead generation strategies that you're using to build the business to where you've gotten it this far.
Yeah. So I would say absolute number 1 is social media.
Social media. Perfect.
Yeah. Number 1 is just by putting your content out there. I mean, you're out there showing houses. You're out there. I was just before this, I was an hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes away, just previewing a house for a client because they couldn't make it. And we're in a crazy offer scenario world where it's like, okay, you have to submit the offer today. If they can't make it, I need to go and, do a video, make sure that they have the opportunity to offer on that house. So if I'm going to be, an hour away at, 8, 9, 10 in the morning, like take a video, post it on your social media, like just put yourself out there. Just like Joseph was saying, don't be a secret agent. Like this is, I'm serving Menifee, I'm serving Crestline, I'm serving Big Bear, I'm serving Rancho Cucamonga, I'm serving Claremont. Like you have to just put it out there in whichever scenarios and situations and cities you're in. So that way people know that you have knowledge all over Southern California, not just where you're based.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. So you're saying social media, posting your showings, recording stuff. So if you're giving somebody like a framework that's just starting off in the social media game, what would you say that they got to do? Essentials.
So definitely, just keep doing the postings, doing your stories. And I would keep your stories less than 10 slides. I think that anybody, or maybe even 9, anybody that has too many, I personally, like if I'm sitting there looking through, I'm like, skip, like that is 30 slides long on a story. Like no, I don't have this many times to do this, right? Just want to see what this person was up to for the day and not their life, right?
Right.
So I think that keeping that a little bit shorter and then doing the little guessing games. I don't know if you've noticed, but I do like guess the square footage. Guess the price.
I try to actually participate, and I even messed it up.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
You asked a question, and I'm like, I said a price, and you're like, wait, that's not even the question.
That's not the question. Yeah. So just be involved, right? I mean, it's all about engagement. Like people go to social media for entertainment, so be that entertainment. Mm-hmm. Like be that entertainment, make sure that you're putting yourself out there, and it's fun. Like it's fun to have people guess the square footage and the prices, especially when I have, a seller where I'm like, guess how much this one, or a buyer, guess how much we got this one for. And everyone's like guessing 700,000-800,000 and really it's 5. Like makes your clients feel awesome. Like, dang, they think my house is worth 800,000 and it's worth 5. Right. Yeah. So I would just say, just start engaging. And these are your friends, so just be a fun source and post funny stuff. And, if you see something crazy at a house, take a picture, post it. It's interesting, the things that we get to see, and nobody understands. I don't think that we see different crazy things.
Like I think toilet or a restroom one time, and fun. I love that.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of weird stuff where we say it with our clients out loud, like, why would they put that here and what is that for, or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of fun to share what your day-to-day is to everybody else. But if you can include them with, some sort of incentive on a guessing game for a $10 gift card, how awesome is that, Okay.
And you're more heavily using Instagram, right, versus Facebook, or using both?
No, the opposite. Yeah, I think I use both, but I get more engagement on Facebook.
Oh, right on.
Which is crazy, because I think that the younger generation is really like keened in on Instagram, but I do get more reactions from Facebook than I do from Instagram. But I think it's because I have maybe a little bit older of a following on Facebook than I do Instagram.
Okay, cool. For Facebook and Instagram, you said about 9 to 10 stories max, and then posting on a daily basis. How many posts do you do?
So I actually only do like one. I mean, really, I'll only do like one actual post itself. But then on my actual stories, like those are full every day, because that's like what my day is. But I obviously love to post, my own personal, family and Cabo and those types of things too. So I really don't post on my actual page as much as actual stories, because I think the stories are a little bit more visible. It's just when I do the guessing games and that kind of thing, so I don't have to go back through my messages. Obviously, I do that on my main page. But I love that. But yeah, between social media, I mean, I would probably say, although that social media is my sphere, it's still, that is the base for keeping me top of mind, right? Mm-hmm. So although that's my sphere, I would say that's probably 75, if not 80% of my business.
Wow.
Which is huge.
That is huge. Absolutely.
Yeah. So aside from that, I mean, I would say realtor.com, pricey, but good. But you just have to be prepared to be an excellent buyer's agent in this market, because it is very tough out there to get your offers accepted. There's all kinds of crazy things I'm doing now to get these offers accepted. So yes, still invest in those leads if you're willing to do absolutely whatever it takes to get those offers accepted. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting your money.
You're just going to be throwing money away. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. A lot of valuable insight. I guess what would you say to an agent out there that is in the business that maybe not achieving the results that they want to achieve? What would you say are essentials for them right now?
Yeah, I would say find a mentor, right? Number one, because You need somebody that's going to teach you the ropes and somebody that's an open book to do so. That we have so many people in this industry that I've come across at one point or two in my life where you're trying to ask them for advice and they're closed-minded on like, no, I'm not going to tell you because you're my competition. You have to understand we cannot handle all the buyers and sellers in this world being one person, which is why I have a team, but not only a team, but I mean, outside agents that don't even work for eXp have reached out and asked me, you know, how would you handle the situation, just because they feel comfortable that my knowledge is there. So I'm always willing to talk to anybody, but I would say really gaining a solid mentor is going to be the number one thing that you need, because it's going to motivate you. When these guys are next to me every single day and they see like, oh, so you got another escrow, oh, another one closed, like they can see that it's possible.
Exactly.
You know, and all they have to do is do exactly as I do, and it's gonna pan out, because we all have different spheres. Mm-hmm. So as long as you just do it and be consistent. It took a long time for anybody to even comment or read through one of those guessing games. Like I want to say I was posting it for a good year and a half before it finally started gaining some momentum.
Wow.
So just the consistency.
That's amazing. It's really important that you share that, because I think a lot of people don't see that. They post one thing and they don't get a reaction. They're like, oh man, it just didn't work. But yeah, you're saying you want to consistently keep posting. And a year and a half later, you started catching fire. You see them all the time. Yeah. You got a ton of comments on those things, shares. That's
because why not? It's free. Like it's free Starbucks. Why would you not just guess what the square footage is? It's like, and it's fun.
I'm gonna get my free Starbucks.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. So I think that it's really about consistency. It's consistency with showing up at the office to do the activities. It's consistency with the phone calls. It's consistency with the social media. That is like the number one word that real estate agents really need to understand to dive into this industry. On top of having the ability to be okay with getting uncomfortable to succeed.
Love it. All right, so let me ask you the icon question, because I've asked it to everybody. What does icon mean for you here at eXp?
So I will say, I mean, it's a huge honor to be an icon agent, because I will say that I didn't even understand the concept as much. I just jumped right in and got so busy to where I think we had a conversation at one point where we were like, okay, what about how much stock do you have? And I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know how to get there. How crazy is that? Right? We're so busy that like obviously we're busy making money too. But at the same time, like that's a big chunk of the money, like by getting the $16,000 back. So now that I have a better understanding of it, it's super awesome. I feel like I've been 100%, which is what it is. I've been 100% for the entire time working here.
100%. Actually, 100%. I mean, you really think about 100% plus, right? Because it would be as though if your agency would give you 100% of the money, but here you're getting that 100% money plus a return, right?
Right.
When you signed on, I mean, wasn't this? I think the stock was like, I think at that point like $8-10 around there.
Yeah, I think it was 11. Yeah, I think $11 a share when I signed on, and now it's up to $50. So that's crazy. And so so I mean, to get that back, it's you're 100%, but so much more. Like even when I started, I said, okay, how about I just be 80-20 for life, and I would be so happy with that, because I came from such a restricted environment where they were taking 50%, and if it was your mom, brother, sister, cousin, didn't matter. And so I just thought 80-20 was going to be the best gift ever. And then you icon out and you're like, wait, then you start to understand it. Like, what does this even mean? Like, this is crazy. I have since joining eXp, I have paid off all of my debt. My backyard is completely beautiful. I paid off my mom's debt. Like it's just, this commission structure and how they do this at eXp is just brilliant, and it really is changing more lives than just mine.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that stock, imagine, because I mean, do you plan to slowing down?
There's no way.
Heck no. Yeah. Right? Imagine getting every single year for the next 5 to 10 years.
Right. That stock every single year. Yeah, and I think that I did the 100% at. I mean, I think I capped in 53 days.
Wow.
So if you cap in 53 days and then to icon out after that, I mean, my anniversary year is not until March. Like I still have 6 months at that 100%. So it's definitely, I have the ability to icon again for sure.
Oh, 100%. I have no doubt you're going to get it. You're going to get icon every single year. You're going to be back to like Joseph and Richard's about to twice in a row. But thank you so much for taking your time, because I know it's super valuable. I'm just super honored and proud of everything you've done, up until this moment. And I feel like I've known you for a long time, a super long time. it's been such a short process, but I'm just looking forward for the future. You know, this is only the beginning of everything you're going to be accomplishing. So you're spreading your wings and you're soaring. So
it's crazy, but thank you for that push, you know, because it's so scary to leave another brokerage, you know, and I think I was so hesitant for such a long time, and it's just the best decision that I ever made. And it took me 6 months to make it. So it was crazy. I just had to hear from, you know, Leo and Gabriel and Francisco back to back. And then finally the three men got me.
Exactly right. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Cool. My best decision ever. So I appreciate you as well, Leo.
Thank you for being a yes for your future. Because I saw the greatness in you right away. I'm like, man, you're just like, you just have no idea. And look at what you've done so far. So thank you for being a yes to yourself, and you know, the impact that you're doing for your community. I saw that you went on a home build as well. It's a beautiful thing. I saw that you were that. So thank you for being someone that's service oriented. And I guess we'll be concluding. One last tip, one last word, one last message for the audience. What would you say?
I would say to come from a place of service. In anything that you do, if you need to tie when you get an escrow or you get a new listing, you need to tie yourself to the celebration, not the commission. Right. So I think that if you come from that place of service where you envision, like, just imagine them once you hand them those keys, or just imagine once you tell them that wire's been sent for $500,000 on their profit on the sale of their home, all of that. When you imagine that final step and you tie yourself to that celebration, it makes the entire transaction just much more fluid, smooth, happy, because you're not even calculating that commission at that point. You're really focused on coming from a place of service.
Yeah, you're committed to their vision. You're committed to the vision, and you're just standing there completely. And that's a beautiful thing, because you're definitely, if you make it about you, then it's going to be, every single detail is going to be so significant.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ciera, for being on. I really appreciate you and your time. And I'll see you next time, Icon.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty.